Let's face it, folks, the American supermarket can feel like a war zone. We're bombarded with choices, seduced by slick packaging, and confronted with ingredients lists longer than Tolstoy novels. The real culprit might be lurking in plain sight, disguised under the innocuous label of artificial flavor or natural color. This is the murky world of food additives. The modern food landscape is awash in chemicals designed to enhance flavor and extend shelf life. But at what cost? The potential health impacts of these additives are wide-ranging, from triggering allergies to contributing to chronic diseases. We need to become savvy label detectives and understand how our food choices impact our health. To understand how our food supply got so complicated, we need to take a trip down memory lane. A century and a half ago, most Americans ate what they grew or what was produced locally. Food was, for the most part, fresh, unadulterated, and free from the chemical cocktails that define much of today's processed fare. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the Industrial Revolution ushered in a new era of food production. Mass production, along with innovations in packaging and preservation, led to the rise of processed foods. Shelf life became king, convenience reigned supreme, and food manufacturers began experimenting with additives to improve taste, texture, and profitability. The use of additives exploded after World War II, fueled by advances in chemistry and a growing demand for convenience foods. But along with this explosion came a growing body of scientific research raising concerns about the potential health effects of these synthetic ingredients. And here's the kicker. Many of these additives deemed safe decades ago are now being re-evaluated in light of emerging research on their long-term health consequences. It begs the question, are we unwittingly participating in a massive, uncontrolled experiment with our health one bite at a time? Now you might be thinking, surely someone is looking out for us, right? Isn't the FDA supposed to ensure our food is safe? Well, the answer is a bit more complicated than a simple yes or no. The FDA, or Food and Drug Administration, is tasked with regulating food safety in the United States, but as we'll see, the agency's relationship with the food industry is complex and often fraught with controversy. One of the biggest criticisms leveled at the FDA is its reliance on the food industry itself to determine the safety of many food additives. This system, known as GRAS, generally recognized as safe, allows companies to decide whether their additives require FDA approval based on their own scientific assessments. Critics argue that this system is rife with conflicts of interest, as companies have a vested interest in downplaying the potential risks of their products. Furthermore, the FDA lacks the resources to adequately police the vast and ever-evolving world of food additives, leaving consumers vulnerable to potentially harmful ingredients. The GRAS designation is supposed to assure consumers that an additive is safe for consumption. But the reality is far murkier. The GRAS system is largely based on outdated science and riddled with loopholes that allow companies to sidestep rigorous safety testing. For one, the GRAS designation was established in 1958, a time when our understanding of human health and the long-term effects of chemical exposures was far more limited. Many additives granted GRAS status decades ago have never been subjected to modern safety assessments. Secondly, the burden of proof for determining GRAS status falls on the companies themselves. This means they get to decide what research is conducted, how it's interpreted, and whether or not to submit it to the FDA. Not exactly a recipe for transparency and objectivity, wouldn't you say? And here's the kicker. The FDA doesn't even require companies to disclose their GRS determinations to the public, so consumers are left in the dark about the safety of many additives lurking in their food. The usual suspects: excitotoxins, emulsifiers, and parabens. Oh my, let's take a closer look at some specific categories of additives and their potential health impacts. Excitotoxins overstimulate nerve cells in the brain. MSG, aspartame, and glutamate enhance flavor but may cause neurological problems. Emulsifiers prevent separation in foods, creating a smooth texture. They may disrupt our gut microbiome, leading to digestive issues. Parabens are preservatives in cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and food. Concerns exist about their potential endocrine-disrupting effects. The sneaky stuff: hidden ingredients and misleading labels. Food manufacturers are masters of deception, employing a bag of tricks to conceal the true nature of their ingredients. They use misleading language, hide additives under umbrella terms, and exploit labeling loopholes to keep consumers in the dark. For instance, sugar, that sweet nemesis we all know and love, or love to hate, can be disguised under a dizzying array of aliases on ingredient lists. From high fructose corn syrup to dextrose, maltodextrin, and evaporated cane juice, sugar is often lurking in places you least expected. Another common tactic is to use vague or misleading terms like natural flavors or artificial colors. These seemingly harmless phrases can actually refer to a cocktail of synthetic chemicals concocted in a lab, their exact composition shrouded in secrecy. And let's not forget about serving sizes, those tiny, unrealistic portions companies use to make their products appear healthier than they are. Who among us actually eats only 6 chips or drinks just half a bottle of soda? These manipulated serving sizes are designed to downplay the true amount of calories, sugar, and harmful additives we're consuming. Your brain on additives from obesity to addiction. Here's a scary thought. Could those harmless additives in our food be messing with our minds? Emerging research suggests that the answer might be a resounding yes. Some studies suggest that certain additives, particularly those designed to enhance flavor and create cravings, may actually hijack our brain's reward system, leading to overeating and addiction-like behaviors. These highly palatable, hyper-rewarding foods essentially short-circuit our natural satiety signals, making us crave more and more even when we're full. This can contribute to weight gain, obesity, and a whole host of related health problems. Furthermore, some experts believe that the constant bombardment of our taste buds with artificial flavors and sweeteners may desensitize us to the natural flavors of whole foods, making fruits, vegetables, and other unprocessed options seem bland and unappealing. This can further fuel our dependence on processed foods and create a vicious cycle of unhealthy eating habits. Section 8. Inflammation Nation. The body's response to chemical intruders. Inflammation is a natural process that helps our bodies heal and fight off infection. But when inflammation becomes chronic, it can wreak havoc on our health, contributing to a wide range of chronic diseases. Emerging research suggests that certain food additives may contribute to chronic inflammation by disrupting the delicate balance of our gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that reside in our digestive tract. Our gut plays a crucial role in immune function, and disruptions to this delicate ecosystem can have far-reaching consequences for our health. Additives like emulsifiers, artificial sweeteners, and certain preservatives have been linked to gut dysbiosis, an imbalance in the composition of our gut bacteria. This imbalance can trigger an inflammatory response that spreads throughout the body, potentially contributing to a range of health problems from irritable bowel syndrome and autoimmune disorders to heart disease and even cancer. Section 9. From grocery cart to medicine cabinet. Are food additives making us sicker? The potential health impacts of food additives extend far beyond our waistlines and digestive systems. Emerging research is uncovering links between these chemical culprits and a wide range of chronic health problems, raising concerns about their long-term consequences. Some studies suggest a possible connection between certain food additives and an increased risk of certain cancers. For instance, nitrates and nitrites, commonly used as preservatives in processed meats, have been linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. Furthermore, some additives like artificial food colors and preservatives have been implicated in behavioral problems in children, including ADHD and hyperactivity. While more research is needed to fully understand the connection, these findings raise concerns about the potential impact of these chemicals on developing brains. And let's not forget about allergies and sensitivities. Food additives are a common culprit in food intolerances, triggering a range of symptoms from headaches and skin rashes to digestive issues and respiratory problems. Tips for navigating the grocery store minefield. Protect yourself in a food landscape full of harmful additives. Become savvy grocery shoppers. Read labels religiously. The fewer ingredients, the better. Cook more at home. Shop the perimeter. Choose whole foods over processed. Be wary of health halos. Section 11. Join the food revolution. It's time to take back our plates. We've covered a lot of ground today, folks, from the history of food additives to the potential health risks they pose. But the good news is that we have power. We can choose to eat differently, to demand transparency from food manufacturers, and to prioritize our health over convenience and profit margins. This isn't about demonizing all processed food or becoming culinary hermits. It's about making informed choices, being mindful of what we put into our bodies, and demanding better from the companies that produce our food. It's about reclaiming our health, one plate at a time. So the next time you're at the grocery store, remember what's at stake. Choose whole, unprocessed foods whenever possible, read labels carefully, and avoid products with a slew of unpronounceable ingredients. And don't be afraid to ask questions and demand transparency from food manufacturers. Our health depends on it. Join the food revolution. Let's take back our plates and our health. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a sudden craving for a home-cooked meal made with real, recognizable ingredients. Who's with me?